Hi there everybody, I'm about to start a new project. I'm going to be making a new coat, so I want to talk you through the processes that I'm using to print on the fabrics that I'm going to use in the project. Just a quick call out to Evie, whom I was speaking to online a few days ago. Evie, who's an Australian, she lives in the city of Goulburn, and she's learning to sew, and she's been watching some of my videos, so she's certainly jumping in the deep end learning textile embellishment. So good luck to you, Evie, and thank you for buying one of my PDF patterns. Now, set out on this table, I've got this heavy cotton which I've discharged printed. Discharge is the printing I showed a bit recently, done with bleach. So I'm just using ordinary household bleach here. Now, I did make a marvelous video of this when I actually printed this about a week ago. I made a fabulous video, and somehow or other I blundered badly and actually deleted it before I got to show you the whole process. So these are the two prints that I used on here. So it's this leaf shape, which is a hand cut stencil, just cut out of heavy cardboard and sealed with some varnish, which I've shown you several times before. And here is exactly the same leaf shape, but it's the positive, which I just cut out of some rubber. It's not actually rubber, it's like, I don't know, some kind of polyester stuff. I'll remember the name of it. This is a sort of a tile stuff. I find these all the time in Vinnie's. These are tiles that are often used for children to play on, or for campers or that kind of thing. It's not very dense, it's very light, it's very easy to cut. So once I'd made that stencil there, I then made this negative of it. So on here you can see where I've got these prints, and I've flipped this print several times using different sides of it, and I've also used this as a stamp, the other shape, stamped it as well, so that I get the shape with the big sections taken out of it, and also the sort of stem shapes as well from the print. So I'm so disappointed that I buggered up with this video. However, I'll just quickly explain how it was done. I've just discovered the joy of using this little paint tray to put my bleach in, and it falls into this deeper section here where I can fill the roll with it, and then up here I can sort of squeeze a bit of the excess out on this textured section up here, and then I've laid the stencil on at random, just by sight, choosing where I wanted to lay it, and rolled the bleach through there, and it's discharged, literally taken out the dye in there. And with the leaf stamp, same thing again. I've just rolled it over there, pressed it down in various places to get that other shape, the skeleton shape versus the leaf shape. So that's the story of how I came to print this piece of fabric, and I will do this technique many more times in the future, so you'll one day get to see another video of right from the beginning. Now at the moment I'm planning to overprint this again. I'm going to go back to the stencil, and I'm probably going to use the stamp as well and put some extra color in here. So I'm just going to demonstrate a bit of this so that you can understand how you can get more complexity into this textile using this additional printing. So somebody also asked me what textile inks I use. Now I'm in Australia, and I don't know if the person who asked me what brands I use is in Australia or some other European or American city. So these are Australian brands. I use two. I use Permaset, which is my preferred ink. I find it's got a bit more pigment in it. Permaset is that one. And then the other brand that I also buy from, and they're a little cheaper, Hydrotex. So I can recommend those brands if you're in Australia. They're easily available by mail order. So I'm going to use a little orange in here. This is bleached out into this pale orangey ochre colour, and I'm going to add a little more detail with that bright orange ink. Now let me quickly show you some of the other fabrics that I intend to bring into the coat project. This is a lovely cotton doona cover I collected. So I'm going to be working in these colours, oranges, the dark charcoal, grey, black colours. And this is another piece of printing from my stash, and it's also echoing those colours, however it has got the blue in it. So I may bring that in at some place. And over here I've got this dark orangey red coloured cotton sheet, and I'll be doing some printing on there, probably discharge as well as stenciling and stamping perhaps. We'll get to that in another video, no doubt. But right here at the moment I'm just going to add a little more detail by overprinting on this fabric today. So I'm putting a little of my orange out there on the tray. That's not a little, that's a huge glob. Here we go. Okay, so I'm using a stiff brush right at the moment. This is a pig, I think these are pig fibres or very stiff fibre here. Pig fibre. Now that's not really a thing, is it? What I mean is pig bristle is the word I'm struggling to find. Now I've matched up my stencil over that discharge print there, and I'm just coming in on the outer edges, sort of brushing the ink inwards there to emphasize just the outside. Rather, I'm not really putting the ink into the middle part, just the outside. There we go. Now I'm just going to get another brush because I was getting a bit uneven there, and I just want to kind of blend that out a bit. Okay, using my blending brush again. There you go. So I've added a little bit more complexity to that print there, and I'm just going to go over a few more. Now, as I said, when I discharge printed this, I actually flipped the stencil many times, and I managed to get this kind of different print. When I'd flip it over, after I'd already rolled it over the top with the bleach, I would have all this wet excess bleach on there. So when I flipped it over, I would get these pale imprints. So at the moment, while I'm looking at adding a little more colour into some of these prints, there are going to be some where I'm not going to be able to match it up because they've been flipped over that way. So I'm going to do what I can. I'm using the smaller brush now because I think I'm getting a more effective transfer of paint on there than I am with the large one. I've got to stop talking for a moment because I'm really a one-track brain, and I'm sort of needing to concentrate on what I'm doing, and I can't talk at the same time. Well, I can, but I'm not really doing very good work. Okay, there's another one. Bit more colour in there. Let's see what other match I can get up here. Now I could have more than just this orange here. I could have, you know, more red or any blue or green or any other colour that I want to blend into here as well. So you're not limited to just adding one colour. Now I'm actually putting the paint through the centre of the leaf and leaving the pale area on the outer edges, leaving that more pale. Okay, now I'm a bit dubious about how the stamp is going to work because the black cotton there is so dark. When I print onto the black, it's absorbing all the colour completely, so you can't see any of the orange when it's on top of the black. So if I overprint this, it's actually going to take out all that gold in there. So I've decided not to use that stamp at the moment. I'm just going to do a couple more, demonstrate a couple more prints for you, and then I shall switch this off and come back and show you the finished result later on so that you don't have to watch the paint dry. Okay, looking for prints going that way. Here we go. Okay, I'll be back later on to show you the finished result.